March 11th, 2026, Iran releases a list that shocks Silicon Valley, Wall Street, and the entire tech world. 29 locations, billions of dollars in infrastructure, Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, Oracle, IBM, all named, all targeted. But here's what nobody is talking about. One specific building on that list, if destroyed, could set back America's AI dominance by years. Which building is it? Stay with me till the end, because the answer will completely change how you see this war. On March 11th, 2026, just days ago, something happened that no one in the tech world saw coming. Iran's IRGC-affiliated Tasnim news agency published a list designating Amazon, Google, IBM, Microsoft, Nvidia, Oracle, and Palantir facilities as legitimate targets for retaliatory strikes. The IRGC pinpointed 29 locations across Bahrain, Israel, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates, offices, data centers, and research facilities. 29 locations. These aren't random buildings. These are the nerve centers of the global digital economy, the places where your emails are stored, where AI is being trained, where the next generation of chips is being designed. The list was presented under the title Iran's New Targets. It included 5 Amazon facilities, 5 Microsoft, 6 IBM, 3 Palantir, 4 Google, 3 Nvidia, and 3 Oracle buildings. And Iran didn't just publish this list quietly. They announced it to the entire world, on Telegram, on state media, on every platform they could reach. This was a message, a deliberate, calculated message. Tasnim said directly, as the scope of the regional war expands to infrastructure war, the scope of Iran's legitimate targets expands. Infrastructure war. Think about those 2 words. This is no longer just soldiers and missiles. This is a war on the systems that run the modern world. Now, here's what's critical. Iran didn't just make threats. They already pulled the trigger. Several Amazon Web Services regional data centers in the Middle East went offline due to drone attacks. Iran claimed it deliberately targeted these sites in the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain because they host U.S. military workloads. The attack knocked numerous cloud providers in the region offline and prompted companies including Snowflake and Red Hat to urge customers to activate their disaster recovery plans. Let that sink in. Amazon Web Services, the backbone of the internet, went dark in the Middle East. Banks froze, payments failed, enterprise systems crashed, all because Iran sent drones into a data center. Standard insurance policies often do not cover damage or losses incurred through war, invasion, or military action, meaning these losses will likely be borne solely by the companies that own them. That means Amazon, Google, Microsoft, these trillion-dollar companies, could be looking at losses in the hundreds of millions of dollars with zero insurance coverage. Because this is war, and war is not covered. Amazon posted modest declines after confirming physical damage to 3 data centers in the United Arab Emirates. And the market noticed immediately. Investors started pricing in something they'd never had to price in before, the physical destruction of digital infrastructure. You might be wondering, why Google? Why Nvidia? Why Microsoft? These are tech companies, not military contractors, right? Wrong. Amazon and Google were awarded a $1.2 billion contract from the Israeli government in 2021 to work on Project Nimbus, which provided Israel with core tech infrastructure. These companies and Microsoft grant Israel virtually government-wide access to their cloud and AI technologies. Project Nimbus. Remember that name. It's the reason Iran put Google and Amazon at the top of its target list. When you provide a government with its entire cloud infrastructure during a war, you become part of that war. IBM has trained Israeli military and intelligence personnel. Palantir provided predictive policing technology to the Israeli government to process data and generate lists of targets. Oracle was awarded an $88 million contract to integrate its cloud computing software with the U.S. Air Force. And then there's Nvidia, the crown jewel of artificial intelligence. Nvidia's chips power artificial intelligence applications used for target identification and autonomous navigation. Iran's focus is specifically on Nvidia's research and development center in Yokneam, described as the largest outside the United States. This is the building I told you about at the beginning. Nvidia's R&D center in Israel, the place where next-generation AI chips are designed. If that facility is destroyed, it doesn't just hurt Nvidia. It sets back global AI development by years. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang has recently called Israel Nvidia's second home. 13% of the company's global workforce resides there. The moment that list was published, financial markets moved. Over the past 2 days, the Nasdaq 100 showed unusual volatility as investors attempted to price in a new type of risk, physical damage to global digital infrastructure. Despite strong quarterly earnings, Nvidia's stock lost about 9% of its value in the 2 days before the list was published. 9%. Billions of dollars in market cap, gone. Not because of bad earnings, not because of a product failure, but because of a list published on Telegram by an Iranian news agency. This is the new reality of modern warfare. The battlefield is no longer just in the desert. It's on Wall Street, it's in Silicon Valley, it's in every server farm from Dubai to Tel Aviv. OpenAI is building a 10-square-mile AI campus in the UAE called Stargate, which has involvement from Oracle, Nvidia, and Cisco. Microsoft is reportedly planning to invest $15 billion in the UAE in the next 3 years. But if Iran steps up its attacks on these companies' Middle Eastern assets, all of this will be in limbo. The Daily News Times. Stargate, the most ambitious AI project in human history, is being built right in the middle of a war zone. $15 billion of Microsoft investment sitting directly in Iran's crosshair. Now here's where it gets really alarming for people living right here in the United States. The FBI has claimed Iran could launch drone strikes on the west coast of the United States, where the headquarters of tech giants like Google, Nvidia, and Microsoft are located. The West Coast, San Francisco, Seattle, Santa Clara, the heart of Silicon Valley. The FBI is warning that Iranian drone strikes could potentially reach American soil. Iran's military spokesperson warned, "The Americans should await our countermeasure and our painful response." People in the region were also warned not to be within a 1-kilometer radius of banks. 1-kilometer radius. Iran is telling civilians, publicly, to stay away from banks and tech offices. That's not a bluff. That's operational planning. In Israel, Project Nimbus moved most of the government's infrastructure to cloud platforms of Google and Amazon. Now, as the cloud itself becomes a military target, companies are activating contingency plans, shifting workloads to more distant regions such as Europe or the United States, and reducing the physical presence of employees in high-risk areas. The cloud is now a war target. Think about what that means for you. Your data, your apps, your banking, your emails, all of it runs on infrastructure that is now being physically bombed. So remember that question from the very beginning? Which one building on Iran's list, if destroyed, could set back America's AI dominance by years? It's Nvidia's R&D center in Yokneam, Israel, the largest Nvidia research facility outside the United States, the place where next-generation AI chips are designed and tested, home to thousands of Nvidia's top engineers. If that building is hit, the chips that power ChatGPT, that power self-driving cars, that power the future of warfare, go dark. This isn't just a war between Iran and Israel anymore. This is a war on the technology that runs our entire civilization. And the question you need to ask yourself today is this: is the world ready for a war where the targets aren't soldiers, but the servers that run our lives? Drop your answer in the comments below. Share this video with someone who still thinks this war has nothing to do with them, because it does. It affects all of us. I'll see you in the next one.